stand on the pews or sit on the altars or the altar railings at the side of the church. Please turn off all audible ringers on cell phones so friends and family members may hear the ceremony. When the ceremony is over, please exit through the doors at the rear of the church. And now, please rise.
Good afternoon. My name is Chinyere Opara, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to campus and to today's commencement exercises here in St. Ignatius Church. USF is proud of the graduates who have preceded you over the last century and a half. We're not only proud of what they've achieved, but of how they achieved it, with passion and purpose, with compassion and ethics, with a desire to serve the community, to serve the common good, to make the world a better place. These USF graduates went forth, in the words of St. Ignatius, to set the world on fire. Today, as new graduates, you join a community of USF alumni more than 100,000 strong. We are proud of you. And we can't wait to see how you too will change the world. Presiding at this afternoon's exercises is the Reverend Paul J. Fitzgerald of the Society of Jesus, 28th President of the University. Now, please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Ms. Donna Kriesman, Associate Director for Administrative Services in the Law School, and for the invocation offered by Father Donald Godfrey, University Chaplain, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. God of many names, who is beyond all names, bless the class of 2023 as we celebrate with them their graduation today from the University of San Francisco School of Law. Bless their families, loved ones, the faculty, staff, and all through a challenging time of pandemic have supported them on their journey to this joyful day. May our graduates live out our USF Jesuit mission of changing the world from here, creating a more humane, sustainable, and just world where all know that they belong and work for the common good. Bless them with the foolishness to think they can make a difference in this world so that they will do the things others tell them cannot be done. Bless them with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and disinformation. Bless them with anger at injustice, so they may work for the renewal of humanity that Pope Francis speaks of with urgency in his environmental encyclical Laudato Si. And following St. Ignatius, bless them with knowing that love shows itself more in deeds than in words. Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam. Amen.
Please be seated. Ms. Nora Wu, a member emerita of the University Board of Trustees, will formally open the ceremony.
Thank you, Provost Chinyere. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor to formally open the 164th commencement exercises for University of San Francisco School of Law. The distinctiveness of your Joshua education stems from its deeply rooted history and a mission grounded in intellectual rigor and a faith that does justice. Since its beginning nearly 500 years ago, Joshua High Education remains committed to academic excellence, service, leadership, and a holistic experience. Let's also acknowledge those who have invested in your future, loved you, encouraged you, and supported you unconditionally. These individuals, your family, friends, and your dedicated professors deserve your thanks and recognition. Please join me now in recognizing all those who help you make today possible. Today, you join the ranks of many millions of alumni of Joshua universities around the world. We know the future is in good hands. Congratulations.
Thank you, Trustee Wu. I am pleased to introduce Ms. Bree Aguas, candidate for the degree of Juris Doctor, who is representing the class of 2023 as its speaker today. Ms. Aguas.
Good afternoon, President Fitzgerald, Provost Opara, Deans, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and my fellow graduating class of 2023. It's an honor to be here with all of you today in person. Post-pandemic manifested a new kind of joy for me, which is not having to mute and unmute myself or make sure that my camera is on. What a time we live in, where not only graduating from law school, but simply being in person is cause for celebration. If you had told me 10 years ago that I would be going to law school, let alone during a global pandemic, I probably would have laughed and asked you what other jokes you had to share with me. At that time in my life, attending law school was not on my bingo card. It's because 10+ years ago, my life took a sharp and unexpected turn. 2 weeks before my college graduation, ready to take on the world, the unimaginable happened. My older brother, Ben, at 28 years old, passed away. It's impossible to put into words that moment in my life, so I won't attempt to do so here today. But what I can tell you is that I would have never gotten through that period of my life had it not been for the people who lifted me up and strengthened me. It is to them I give credit for the strength I had to work as a marriage and family therapist, helping those who similarly suffered tragedies and pain, who needed another person to give them hope and remind them of their own strength. And it is because of my support system that I'm even standing here with you all today, ready to graduate. 3 years ago, they gave me the courage to reimagine my life and pursue the persistent nagging in my heart, this dream of obtaining my law degree. I share this with you all, my fellow grads, for 2 reasons. The first being that no matter what plans you may have post-law school, sometimes life takes unexpected turns. And that secondly, it's your support system, the people you surround yourself with who will help you, if you let them, who will guide your path and help reveal what's meant for you. There is no doubt that we are all here because of the hard work, sacrifices, and commitment that we each made to pursue this degree. But as you look around today, I hope you also recognize that none of us would be here were it not for the people who lifted us up. I am talking about the people who carefully walked around and not behind your computer screen during Zoom class, the people who cooked you food, who helped set up your workstation at home, those you vented to about your repeated cold calls, those who made no judgments when you gained weight, the infamous COVID-15, and of course the deans, professors, and staff who added extra office hours, met with us in breakout rooms or later in person, who went above and beyond to teach, inspire, and guide us. All of these people were our own version of essential workers. We were lucky enough to have them, those who tirelessly supported our path in getting here today. As I said earlier, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would go to law school, I would have laughed. But life is full of twists and turns, and so I encourage you all to keep your hearts open as you continue down this journey. What you see yourself doing 10 years from now, like working as a district attorney, may not be what you end up doing 10 years from now. You might become a public defender, a judge, a CEO, or maybe even a therapist. Things change, we get inspired, we make plans, life happens. The one constant is that the people who love and support you will be there, like they are today, cheering you on, allowing you to dream the biggest dream that you have for your life, pursue it, and not judge you for it. If you ever doubt yourself, just stop and think, you know what? I survived my first year of law school during a global pandemic. I got this. If that isn't the definition of perseverance, resilience, and strength, then I truly don't know what is. I wish you all well as we continue down the path toward becoming licensed attorneys. I hope that someday, when we run into each other out in the world, we can look back at this time and smile, remembering our class group me conversations, seeing each other for the first time in tiny Zoom boxes and looking at everyone's backgrounds, meeting in person our second year and being shocked at how tall people were, and most of all, just how much USF changed us for the better and guided us toward the next part of our life journey. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Ms. Aguas. I am pleased to introduce Dean Susan Freewald, Dean of the School of Law, who will now present today's honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker. Dean Freewald.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to present our honorary degree recipient and today's commencement speaker. Will the Honorable Lucy Coe please rise? Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, Judge Lucy Heron Coe. Amy Flynn, Associate Dean of the School of Law, will now read the citation.
Trailblazing jurist who demonstrates an unparalleled understanding of the legal complexities and privacy issues in today's digital age. One of America's top judicial minds whose legal opinions are grounded in intellectual rigor, solid factual evidence, and unwavering integrity. The Honorable Lucy Heron Coe made history in 2021 as the first Korean American woman to be elevated to the United States Court of Appeals. Judge Coe is recognized as a brilliant jurist with a profound commitment to safeguarding our constitutional rights and a lifelong dedication to public service. Her understanding of the legal complexities and privacy issues of today's technology is extraordinary. Legal experts have lauded both her practical approach to the law and her ability to interpret how dated legal theories apply to modern problems. Her decisions in intellectual property cases have brought focus to challenging legal questions dealing with both design and technology and led to a manageable set of actions. Judge Koh brings to the bench a willingness to work with both law and technology and a well-honed, incisive mind. Judge Koh holds herself and those who bring cases before her to the highest legal and ethical standards. In her 13 years on the bench, she has presided over nearly 300 trials and issued more than 3,000 written decisions in high-profile cases that involve cybersecurity, intellectual property, antitrust, and other complex subjects. Judge Koh's technology-heavy caseload has made her one of the most influential jurists in the Silicon Valley and beyond. In a landmark case, Judge Koh found that Google's practice of scanning user messages for advertising means should be prohibited from student, governmental, and business email accounts. Google also was required to change its terms of service to ensure the transparency of the company's scanning policies. Judge Koh has a well-deserved reputation for fairness and efficiency when judging 21st century issues. She is known to get the internet in a way that many judges do not. Prior to joining the bench, Judge Koh had a distinguished career in public service and private practice. After graduating from Harvard Law School, she served as a Women's Law and Public Policy Fellow for the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee. She went on to work at the U.S. Department of Justice, first as a special counsel for legislative affairs, next as a special assistant to the Deputy Attorney General, and finally as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California. In the U.S. Attorney's Office, she earned the FBI Director Louis J. Freeh Award for her successful prosecution of a $45 million security fraud case. After first working on intellectual property cases in the U.S. Attorney's Office, she further developed this expertise in private practice. Her broad scope of criminal and civil experience prepared her for the complexities of the Northern District of California and now as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. Judge Koh's honors include the National Asian Pacific American Bar Association's Trailblazer Award and Women's Leadership Award, the American Bar Association's Mark T. Banner Award, and the California Bar Intellectual Property Law Section's Judiciary Award, among others. Judge Koh grew up in Mississippi, the child of immigrants. Today, she fiercely advocates for making the legal profession more accessible and inclusive. She has observed that diversity on the bench serves not only to enhance confidence in the judicial system, but also to reaffirm the American dream that anyone can aspire to be a judge. Judge Koh and her husband, Justice Mariano Florentino Cuellar, president of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace and a former California Supreme Court justice, are parents of 2 children. Judge Koh graduated magna cum laude from Harvard University and went to Harvard Law School, where she, still a student, assisted the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, represented Central American asylum seekers, and worked on issues for low-income tenants. She also assisted permanent residents with their naturalization applications. She was awarded the Irving R. Kaufman Public Service Fellowship as a graduating Harvard Law student who demonstrated great potential for an outstanding career ahead in public service. Throughout her career, she has been generous with her time, wisdom, and expertise. She is at the forefront of legal issues of vital importance to our graduates who will be practicing in the areas of technology, immigration, and criminal law as people for and with others. That all may know of our great esteem for her as judicial trailblazer, for Korean American women, and for her vital work on justice and respect for the rule of law in the digital age, the university does, therefore, confer upon the Honorable Lucy Hayron Koh the degree of Doctor Humane, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. given this 20th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2023, and of the university, the 168th in San Francisco, California.
Members of the Board of Trustees, President Fitzgerald, Provost Opara, Dean Freewald, faculty and staff of the university, families, friends, and fellow graduates, good afternoon. And thank you so much. I'm just speechless. That was an overly generous introduction, and nothing makes me just more proud to get this honorary degree. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is wonderful to be back at St. Ignatius, which was my mother-in-law's home parish for many years. I have attended many masses here and even a law clerk's wedding. And actually 13 years ago, I swore in new USF law graduates to the California Bar right here. It's so wonderful to see you all in person. I will say you all look marvelous. The pandemic taught us how precious it is to be together in person. Who would have thought how precious that is? And how just wonderful it is to have a graduation that's in person. So there's so many things that we take for granted. But the one thing I do not take for granted is that each of you will have to be amazing in the next chapter of your lives. And I know that each of you will rise to the occasion. So over the last year, we have read so much about the war in Ukraine. And I'm inspired by the example of President Zelensky. As a comedian, he was the voice of Paddington Bear in the Paddington movies. But despite an onslaught of missiles, he has shown the world that he is willing to die to defend his country. And his wife and children remain in the Ukraine despite grave danger. So it all starts with the stories and the choices that we make about who we are. And in President Zelensky's case, he stood his ground and is standing his ground to become the face of courage and democracy for billions of people, whether they live in Frankfurt or Fresno. And now you, the class of 2023, you are becoming the face of the legal profession. And each of us, regardless of what profession we are in, must know what our values are, what our limits are, and what sacrifices we are willing to make to live our values. And you will be called on to make important choices in your profession. You may face an inconvenient or an uneasy ethical issue. There may be something that is just not working right in our justice system that everyone else has tolerated or ignored up until you. These questions may not sound as dramatic as what President Zelensky and his family are facing, but they're important, and your answers can be powerful and can be just as inspiring. So President Zelensky is a lawyer by training, but he was not fortunate enough to graduate from USF Law School, which may explain why he had to be the voice of Paddington Bear. But let me share the story of another Ukrainian who was so fortunate. Her name is Tatiana Lysenko. 18 years ago, she was right here, where you are, graduating from USF Law School. Before that, she was a Ukrainian gold and bronze medalist at the 1992 Summer Olympics and won another gold medal at those games. She was born in Kherson, which was the first major Ukrainian city to fall to Russian forces in the current war, but it was recaptured by the Ukrainians in November of last year. She's just under 5 feet tall, and she started her career representing the Soviet Union. And in the individual events of 1992, during the Olympics, she actually represented the Ukraine, her new and independent country. And in 2016, she was inducted into the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame. I actually had the pleasure of speaking with her, and she told me that she went to USF Law School because as a young woman, planning to build her life in this country, she thought that learning about this country's laws, legal history, and how this country dealt with difficult times would help her understand American society and its values. USF Law School delivered. Here, she had the gift of a wonderful place to learn. She graduated stronger, more confident, and with the tools and the platform to pursue her dreams. Speaking of strong and confident, another woman trailblazer from USF Law School is Dame Marjorie Morris Scardino from the class of 1975. Reared in Texas, she rode rodeos as a teenager. After serving as president of the Economist newspaper group in New York from 1985 to 1993 and more than doubling the North American circulation of that magazine, she was promoted to CEO of the Economist Group in London. From 1997 to 2012, she was the CEO of Pearson plc, a leading British media and education company which owned, among other things, Penguin Books and the Financial Times. She became the first woman to lead a top 100 public company listed on the London Stock Exchange. And in 2007, Forbes ranked her number 17 on its list of the 100 most powerful women in the world. After leading Pearson, she decided to focus more on her various passions, including diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Another USF Law alum who fought for diversity and inclusion was Chan Chung Wing, who graduated in 1918, when the law school at the time was called the University of St. Ignatius College of Law. A native of Napa, California, he was the first Chinese American to pass the California bar exam. As an immigration and civil rights attorney, he specialized in representing Chinese immigrants who were detained at Angel Island. He also initiated dozens of lawsuits against the San Francisco Police Department for the harassment of Chinese immigrants. Anti-Chinese sentiment was widespread then, as exemplified by the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which was not repealed until 1943. Before he passed away, he saw one of his 5 children graduate from USF Law School. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, hey, this is all great, but I'm not a wartime president, I'm not an Olympic medalist, I probably won't be a multinational company CEO, and I can't be the first Chinese American to pass the California bar because that ship sailed in 1918. But I doubt the voice of Paddington Bear had it all figured out, or that Tatiana Lysenko knew she'd end up in the Olympics, or even knew that she'd one day be a lawyer. So comedy isn't the obvious way to prepare for a wartime presidency. And gymnastics is not quite the straightest path to law. But lawyers do need to be flexible sometimes. Dame Morris Scardino probably would have been told that there was no way a rodeo-riding teenager from Texas would become the first woman leading a major British company. Although I suspect that riding a bucking horse prepared her very well for making it as a woman in the corporate world over 50 years ago. But these lives, they tell us a story, that we rise to the occasion not by trying to be somebody else, but by relying on our own experiences, our own values, when amazing chances or difficult choices come our way. And those will come more often than you think, which brings me to my second point. Some of you will garner enormous public recognition for what you do. But we may all have our own Zelensky moments when we least expect it, far from public scrutiny or recognition. And I will be just as happy for you and for the world if your moment comes as a thoughtful prosecutor making a tough judgment call about how to exercise discretion, or a public defender going to the mat for a client, or a lawyer who says no when your client asks you to do something you know you shouldn't, or a law firm partner who works extra hours to handle pro bono cases. In some ways, These acts are more meaningful because others are not watching or praising you. The most staggering problems and opportunities the world faces, like how to secure peace, how to preserve our democracy's vitality, will depend more on each of us rising to our own Zelensky moments than on any one famous person, however amazing. In the first Incredibles movie, a little boy on a tricycle watches Mr. Incredible come home from a tough day at work. Deflated, Mr. Incredible asks, "What are you waiting for?" And if you remember, the boy says, "I don't know, something amazing, I guess." When I look out at the class of 2023, I feel like the little boy on that tricycle. Do you know who else is waiting right next to me on their tricycles? All of your family, your friends, your significant others whose love and support made this day possible. All of your teachers, your professors, your counselors, the librarians, custodians, school administrators, and staff who also made this day possible. We all know that something amazing will come, not just in the public accolades that you get, but in the private choices that you make. And we don't have to wait long. So congratulations to each of you, to your family and friends who are here celebrating your achievement. Now go out and do something amazing.
Thank you, Judge Koh. Distinguished guests, it's time to proceed to the business at hand and the reason we are all here today, the awarding of academic degrees. As we do, I have a favor to ask of you. Clapping and cheering are fine, but please don't stomp on the floorboards of this grand old church. Dean Freewald will now present to the President of the University the candidates for the Master of Laws and Master of Legal Studies degrees in the School of Law. Dean Freewald.
The candidates for the degrees Master of Laws and Master of Legal Studies in the School of Law will please rise and remain standing. Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Law, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the candidates for the Master of Laws and Master of Legal Studies degrees in the School of Law and to ask you to welcome them into our beloved company.
Thank you, Dean Freewald. By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter to the University of San Francisco from the State of California, and of the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2023 from the School of Law, the Masters of Laws and Master of Legal Studies, certified by your Dean and faculty, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated until directed forward by the university marshals? Father Fitzgerald has conferred your degrees. Professor Connie de la Vega will announce the names of the graduates. Professor de la Vega.
Jonathan Dean. Julia Sewitt. Cesar Gomez. Konrad Klasuski. Ernest Marias. Kelly Medico. Andrew Philip Delgadillo Miller. Jonathan Michael Chu. Min Nguyen. Scarlett Sotelo. Takahiro Higa. Jesús Reza. Ayla Ashaboglu. Wei Feng Sun. Piero Orlandin. Rina Wada. Gunta Mambane. Fatima Muhammad. An Nyoki Kamunya. Punam Deshmukh. Armando Dasa. Susana Casas Valencia. Naomi Gareth. Thais Siqueira.
Dean Freewald will now present the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. Dean Freewald.
Thank you. The candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor will please rise and remain standing. Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Law, it is with great pride that I present to you the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor and ask you to welcome them into our beloved company.
By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter to the University of San Francisco from the State of California, and of the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2023 from the School of Law, the degree of Juris Doctor, certified by your dean and faculty, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated until directed forward by the University Marshals? Professor Jonathan Chu will announce the names of the graduates. Professor Chu.
Will the graduates for the degree of Juris Doctor please be seated until directed forward by the University Marshals? Sydney Baba. Ali Ferrero, cum laude. Melanie Besnilian. Chase Wyatt. Seif Hartley. Gabriel Rishwain. Nathan Christie, summa cum laude. Cameron Garib. Albert J. Ujic III. Wilson Orr. Megan Gleason. Tess Beimler, cum laude. Eric Alito. John Robles. Hubert Liu. Anthony N. Morales. Marissa Hedgepeth, cum laude. Angela Garcia, cum laude. Gabrielle Solera. Raya Nelson. Madison Cosulo, magna cum laude. Chelsea Olson. Brea Cinco Aguas. Johnny Merkley. Salim Hermandi. Slater Stanley. Catherine McElhenney. Jordan Jash. Eric Muller. Nathan Brielle. Lauren McKinney. Cherry Corona. Sophia Lennox. Kid Anderson. Hannah Ma. Nicholas Gennaro. Alan Saylor. Ryan William Parker. Cristal Sanaj. Leslie Bodin. Bataba Rafael. Aaron Posner. Aram Gavandian. Yechit Ko. Kirkman Rid. Allison Carney. Maddie Roche, cum laude. Got it. Daria Kaboli Nejad, magna cum laude. Lee McBain, cum laude. Amanda Alcalt, magna cum laude. Melody Nushin Albazari. Abner Lenez. Rebecca Gonzalez. Gina Corona. Brianna Pogue. Kelsey Villanueva. The Nicole Marie Ramos. Adana Chen. Jyoti Jaj. Danielle Eden Castro Silva. Erlin Lazaro. Daniela Mendoza. Pierce Stanley. Derek LaForest, cum laude. Taylor D. Berry. Heather Franco Filson. Simran Dillon. Christy Jane Fromm. Simran Bawa. Nick Siamas. Luis Santiago Mendez Morales, JD, MBA. Gilberto Nicholas Gonzalez. Esteban Ortiz. Armando Islas. Joseph Nazal. Wendy Chow. Stephanie Moser. Vanessa Carreno Alvarez. Alyssa Carbonell Matsuhara. Kaylee Honest Smiley. Alexandra Villalon. Heather Larson. Miriam Safarian. Clark Abrams. Mira Saleh. Katiuska Pimento Vargas, magna cum laude. Last but not least, Tanner Shimmick.
Family and friends, these are the 2023 graduates of the School of Law. To address the graduates, I am honored and pleased to present Dean Susan Freewald. Dean Freewald.
Thank you, Provost Opara. Judge Coe, colleagues, families, and friends of the graduates, I am delighted to share with you in the celebration of the accomplishments of the class of 2023. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the marshals and organizers of today's event, without whom it would not run so smoothly, and the staff, the custodians, and the groundskeepers who clean and beautify our grounds. Their work is behind the scenes and yet so essential. Yay. I also want to add my thanks to the families and supporters of our graduates for all you have done to help them get to this day, and for all that I know that you will do in the future to support them. Yesterday, I sat as a proud parent here in this beautiful church at my daughter's graduation from the College of Arts and Sciences. So I have some sense of the pride that you feel today. And a big shout out to our faculty and staff who worked tirelessly to provide a law school education to you, and particularly to our JD students during the COVID years. Our faculty spent the summer before the JDs arrived boning up on how to use breakout rooms and PowerPoint and Canvas, and they held extra office hours during that crazy first year that we held entirely online. And our staff and administrators figured out how to make it all work with new policies and procedures to ensure that we kept our Jesuit values of individualized attention and support as your first year class was out in the Zoomosphere rather than here on our beautiful campus where we could convene in person, which we all did so gratefully in the fall of 2021. I remember back how hard we all worked planning for your arrival and trying to determine how many students could fit in Kendrick 100, with each student sitting 6 feet away from each other student in all directions. And just as we thought we had it all figured out, we learned that we would be entirely online. So we had to be flexible and resilient, just as you were, as your classmate Brea so beautifully reminded you. Class of 2023, you have come so far. Please take this moment, or how about the whole day, to appreciate the tenacity, talent, and hard work that got you here. May your achievement motivate you when you feel dejected, propel you when you have further to go, stoke the fire of your passion for law, and inspire you to be a lifelong learner in the quest to be an agent for change. As you've heard today, there are surely challenges ahead, but be proud now of all your new skills and knowledge and of how much you have grown. We are all so proud of you. And I want to emphasize that everyone in this building and many who are not here today are rooting for you. Our law school faculty and staff do what we do because of you. We are deeply committed to you and your professional and personal success. That means that your USF Law network of faculty, staff, and alumni will continue to support you over the bar hurdle. Sorry, I used that word. And we will support you into your first jobs. Please take advantage of the many resources we provide. They are meant for each and every one of you. Each one of you is worthy of all the support we can give, of all the support that you can give each other in the collaborative spirit that is the hallmark of USF Law. Put yourselves out there. You have earned it and you deserve it. And in that regard, you may not know that I became the Associate Dean several years ago because I wanted to play a role in the curricular reform and to improve our graduates' bar pass rate. In that role, the opportunity arose to step into the interim dean role, and from there, with likelihood, the role of the dean. As I was contemplating whether or not to apply to be the interim dean, I had a strong feeling that I shouldn't do it. I reached out to one of my advisors at the time and I said to her, "Isn't it just the truth, in some deep sense, that I should not be the dean of the law school?" And she was very intuitive and she said to me, "What you are feeling in the pit of your stomach is your fear about being the dean." And that made a lot of sense, because as an introvert and as someone who can be shy in social settings, and as someone who had very few management skills, I was scared to take on the challenge of being dean. And I was scared that it would be too much for me. But I realized then that I really wanted to be interim dean and then dean, because I wanted to help the school and to help the students succeed. And I realized that I could manage my fear, and I could learn what I needed, although I continue to learn every day, and I could even manage my introversion and my shyness, as I had figured out how to manage it in the classroom. In the future, you will be scared. The first year of being a lawyer may well be more stressful than your first year of law school, even online law school. You may be scared that a prospective job is too much for you, or that you will not get it if you apply for it. And you will face disappointments in your career just as I have. But you will grow from them as I have. And in a deep sense, you can do it. You can accomplish what you set out to, although the path may not be as straightforward as you would like, and it will take you unexpected places, as Judge Koh reminded us. But along the way, please know, please continue in the USF law tradition of providing service to and respect for others with compassion and care for those who most need it. We have every confidence that as law graduates, you will use your talents and skills to accelerate positive change and to usher in a better world. And we will all continue to root for you as you do. Congratulations again to the class of 2023.
Thank you, Dean Freewald.
And now, Father Paul Fitzgerald, President of the University of San Francisco, will offer the benediction. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Freewald, and you are an awesome dean. In his 1961 book, the great American Jesuit John Courtney Murray made the passionate argument that a Roman Catholic could actually be a loyal American. 1961. In the core of that book, though, he has a little aside, which I find just fascinating. He said the two most important professions in any society are the lawyers and the priests. The lawyers, because the lawyers are charged with righting the relationships, correcting the relationships, balancing out, making just the relationships among human beings. And the priest, the rabbi, the shaman, writes the relationship between the human race and God. But that distinction breaks down in your case, because oftentimes then you as counselors, you as lawyers, you as attorneys, you're not only going to be charged with human justice, but also with helping your clients reconnect to the deepest core of their being, reconnecting to mercy and to justice and to goodness. So be priestly even as you are being lawyerly. We ask God to bless you, bless your families, bless all those who have accompanied you, bless all those whom you will accompany. Amen.
Thank you, Father Fitzgerald. Please rise and remain standing in place until all members of the graduating class have left the church. This concludes the School of Law ceremony for the 164th Annual Commencement Exercises of the University of San Francisco. Congratulations, class of 2023. Our best wishes to you all.